the passion, the energy, the power, the flair, the spirit of hardcore.
Before we even start, I would like to say something that is very important, I think more important than this whole talk. And that is that I would like to dedicate this talk to His Holiness Boltzi and Her Holiness Kabosu, aka Cheems and Dodge, who passed away a year ago, and also this year in case of Kabosu. So I think now we can start already, but I have a couple of disclaimers that I want to share with you. First of all, the tools for use in this talk will be focused mostly on Europe, mostly on Central Europe, so that is Czechia or Slovakia. So if there is an American guy and he's really proud of using my sudo app for everything, I would really appreciate your tolerance for Czech and Slovak guys. But as well, you can try at least these tools that are available here right now. You can use them, fiddle with them, and learn something about different culture and different options that we have. So this is the first disclaimer. And the second disclaimer is that this will be not some kind of super duper hacker style deep dive presentation into how to secure your phone, how to keep your phone as anonymous as possible, where and when to put your SIM card, where and when to put your phone in the Faraday cage, and so on. This talk will be simply on what to do with a phone number in the 21st century. And a lot of people that make these talks like to some kind of convince themselves and also others on why this topic is important, why it matters, and why we should be very agitated on this topic, why we should fight for something, and so on. But I don't know. If I really need to make something up, I would say that this part will be very important for you. So please pay attention. So on the figure 1, we can see some old thing. You know, it's fax, but it's very old, and that's the purpose why it is right there. And we can see something similar in the following figures. You see, those are just old stuff, you know, old stuff, basically. Yeah, and old stuff. And then there is something like this. Also, I would like to say that this presentation is a bit mess, so it's a kind of a meme because I don't know why it happened, but my slides are, they kind of became corrupted. But I hope it will be readable. So this one is also very, very similar to this, and it's just the part of the old stuff that are still with us. And I just kind of don't like this idea because I personally don't want this old stuff to roam around. I don't want these old trains to be stuck on the railway and, I don't know, be there. I don't want these old monarchs to roam around the streets and scare the shit out of us. And I also don't want to use these retro phone numbers. So what we can do with it? Sorry, I couldn't resist. So I think the first very basic hack that we can use, it's like mind-blowing hack, is not to use one phone number for everything. That means that we use one phone number for buying the porn magazines on eShop, one phone number for buying shoes, one phone number for registering on web XYZ, etc. And that's the philosophy. It's very simple, right? But there is one drawback, and that is the mandatory registration of SIM card on your national ID or passport in most European countries. So this is the map I borrowed from Wilder. I didn't have a permit. And we can see that those green areas are the countries where you can buy legally anonymous SIM cards. In the red areas you cannot, or at least you can, but you will be a bad citizen. You will be immoral because you will disobey the law. And obviously don't do that. So you can see UK, Portugal, Sweden, Finland, Lithuania, Estonia, Romania, etc. But you can see that Czechia is a very nice green area, so you can do this even here. So good for you. But yeah, that's it. So we can change our SIM cards and fiddle with it. Not a big deal, right? I think this is still the best SIM card that is available here in Czechia. Don't get scared of the Ukrainian signs. I am not Ukrainian, I cannot speak Ukrainian. This is just coincidence. But if you are here, you can still buy this. You can buy this anonymously. There's Alza, which is some kind of Czech Amazon. And it supports crypto. And they have a showroom, which is a pickup box very nearby. I think it's 500 meters, so I'm not that good in estimating distances. But you can use the pickup box, pay with crypto, and buy these cards. And I bet that if you do it here, right now, you can have them in your hand even today, on the evening, or maybe tomorrow morning. So I recommend this. You can use it. So that's it, right? Not kind of. This is another mind-blowing hack. When you use the SIM card constantly in your device, it can be pretty easily linked to your identity, whether it is because the previous SIM was linked to your identity and it was used at your phone, or whether it is because you simply paid for the SIM non-anonymously. That means with your credit card or something like that. And also there is IMEI, which is the unique identifier of your phone. So yeah, so if you want to maintain the anonymity, you need also new unlinked phone with your new unlinked SIM card. So let's buy a new phone. We can use something like this. That's a crappy phone that you can purchase on Alza as well. So let's buy it under a different name. Let's pay in cash or crypto. Both options are possible. And if we want to also do not deliver it to your home, but deliver it in a pickup box or on the showroom. And also, if we want to achieve a greater level of anonymity, we can have someone else to collect the phone, to pick it up, and we can avoid camera surveillance. So that's it. So we will use a couple of phones, couple of SIM cards, and easy. Well, not that easy, because even if we use anonymous phone and anonymous SIM, and first of all, if we are moving with it on the same locations, the GSM operators or whoever can very easily track our device. It can very easily reveal our identity, or at least our location, whatever. So also, if we connect our mobile phone to home Wi-Fi, it's very easily provable that not who we are, but at least where we live. So it kind of undermines all these anonymity efforts. So what is the solution? Solution is buying thousands and thousands of crappy phones, thousands and thousands of SIMs, and also being very conscious about where we put the SIM card, where are we walking with the phone and the SIM card, where we should stick it out, where to put our phone in a Faraday cage, which SIM card, which phone, etc. And yeah, so that's the solution, but I think it's kind of not that smart, right? It requires a huge capacity of thinking and also finance, and it's not optimal. So I think it's not a bad idea to have a few crappy phones and SIM cards, whether they are Ukrainian or whatever, in your drawer, in your home. It's a useful idea. But let's make up something more smart, something more useful for everyday use. So, I think all of you have more than a crappy phone. We all have smartphones. So let's fiddle with our main devices, with devices that we use every day, that have connection to internet, etc. So, if we use Apple device, it undermines our anonymity, because registration with Apple ID is required, the phone number is required, and also we can purchase something on App Store, etc. So, what to do with that? First of all, we should use the phone number that is not linked with our identity. We will put a SIM card into a crappy phone far away from our home, register with it, and then we put the SIM card out and put it into a pocket. Maybe we disable the PIN, or at least write the PIN down into a piece of paper that we put there, and kind of hedge it with a password manager. But that's the main goal. And also, I really believe that Apple ID phone number is still less risky than a SIM card really stuck in your mobile phone that you grab everywhere with you, even if it is linked with your identity. But let's do it like this. Also, we can use a fake name for our Apple ID. And we really don't need to purchase anything from App Store. We just buy Apple gift cards for cash, and yeah. Also, we should use separate email for Apple ID, and yeah, just for this specific purpose. And I think that's it for Apple device. If you have Android device, I recommend doing this, just checking the support of Graphene OS or Lineage, and do it if it is possible. So I think this is kind of a simple solution for our main devices, but what if we still have an existing phone number? I really believe that most of us have the phone number. We need it for 2FA, at least, for our bank account, for Revolut, for whatever. And yeah, we really don't want our SIM to be with us constantly, at least the SIM that is linked to our identity. So if we really can't avoid using the phone number, I think the ideal solution will be really to use it, but at the same time, not to take it with us all around the world. So, so our goal is to have a phone number, but not to reveal our location to GSM towers, to GSM operators. And how can we do that? Because first of all, we need to solve the SMS problem and then the calling problem. So for SMS, we have a kind of easy solution, which is SMS forwarding, which is basically just the process of forwarding incoming messages from a phone number to another device. A lot of people use it and they even don't know that it's SMS forwarding. For example, there is text message forwarding feature on iOS, which, however, doesn't really erase digital footprint in my opinion, but at least people who don't know what is SMS forwarding, they can kind of imagine that it has this use case. But there are a lot of apps that can do it. It's using mostly like standard protocols like SMTP or IMAP. And so this is how to do it. We just forward messages to another phone number, which is not ideal for us, but also to email, or we can use a matrix bot or whatever. But this doesn't solve the problem of calling, so we need to be accessible. If some kind of bankster wants to call us, we need to be available. So what to do? So there are a lot of apps that can do it. For example, there are numerous apps, but I have witnessed only two of them, which is Zoiper for iOS and Linphone, which is free and open source. That's for Android. And how we can set it up? So we just need a mobile phone that is like our KIC mobile phone. It can be a crappy phone, not the Alligator, but at least something that can connect to internet. We leave it in a charger, put our SIM card, our KIC SIM card there, and the device can be tucked away, and then we will receive the messages on our email or whatever. If it is possible, we can also use the GSM router, something like this, the GSM gateway, and it basically connects the the GSM, the mobile network, to the internet. So that's all of the purpose. That's all the purpose it's have. And it looks kind of okay. We can forward messages, we can receive calls, but there are some major drawbacks about all of this. So first of all, if you want to register this account, the account on your VoIP client, whether it is SIP or YAX, in most of the cases you can't do it. The reason is that there are a lot of operators, a lot of GSM operators that don't support VoIP. They simply think that they can block it, and if they block it, you will use their, their network, you will pay for their SIMs, or I don't know why they do that. But there is easy solution. If your account can't be registered, you just turn on the VPN. I think Swiss VPN works always, and then magic happens. So we have our account registered right now, but I experienced another issue. And the issue was that, everyone could call me. I received all the messages, but when I tried to call somebody, I started to call, and after 5 seconds, it was shut down. So it was shut down. So there were a lot of theories on why did this happen. Some of them were more conspirative. I also worked with a theory that the eSIM that I had in my phone, which was not forwarding, but it was on the same phone where the VoIP client was, kind of bypassed the VPN, and because it had the contract with the so-called banana operator, like Vodafone, which blocked VoIP, it shut it down, the call. But as I said, it's kind of conspirative, and I think the biggest argument against that is that if it was possible, like if the SIM card could bypass this VPN, I mean the eSIM, someone would get rich because of it, because there would be a bounty on it. But I think the more convenient or more trustful reason for why did this happen was that VPN that I used didn't allow port forwarding in the opposite direction. So that's why you couldn't call anyone. And it's not ideal situation because, yeah, this you can't really fix it. You can fiddle with different VPNs, different VoIP clients, and play with it. But yeah, I think first of all you should really think about if you really need to call somebody. Yeah, and if so, maybe you should use another service. I will go into that later. But this is how a setup on Zoiper VoIP client can look like. You can see that I have two accounts there. One is SIP, another one is YAX. I have some codecs there. This is the SIP account, and this is the YAX account. And the reason why I have two accounts is that, yeah, the YAX account is pretty basic, pretty standard account there, whatever it means. But Zoiper client supports push notification only on SIP accounts, and that means that you can receive a notification when somebody calls you, even if the app is not actively running in the background. But let's move to something that really works, even without VPNs, and where you can call somebody actually, and that's call forwarding to Skype. So let's say that we will completely abandon the idea of using Zoiper and Linphone and all these clients, and we just have SMS forwarding. So biggest disadvantage of SMS forwarding is that no one can call you. So let's play around with Skype. So we can do basically the same as we did with Zoiper. We can use our existing phone number to and forward it to Skype. The cost is €7 per month, 20 euros for 3 months, or approximately 50 euros a year. Yeah, the biggest disadvantage of Skype is that it's a fucking Microsoft. So it's not anonymous at all, but at least it works. And also, if we are forwarding our phone number that is already KIC, that is already linked with our identity, I think the anonymity is not that necessary. So, yeah, if we just want to hide our location from GSM towers, I think this is kind of okay. So, but there is another drawback, and that is the Microsoft can see our IP, which is not good, but we can solve it with VPN, and it works magically. Yeah, there are more disadvantages. For example, Skype doesn't support Slovak numbers, so you need to buy a Czech number. And also, when you are purchasing the VoIP number on Skype, the huge variety of countries is available. But also, Slovak numbers cannot be forwarded to non-Slovak numbers, so that's why they are not kind of supported. So you need a Czech number, and that's basically it. And I think even if you use an operator where you have some 3 minutes available, the calls that are forwarded are charged as any other calls. So yeah, so that's it. So you can put this additional cost into consideration. So I think that's for Skype. I don't know why it is so chaotic. I'm sorry for this presentation, but this is how it can look like. I mean the Czech phone number, yeah, it's 55 euros actually for 12 months. Okay, so we have our KIC phone number which is forwarding the calls to our phone, our secure phone hopefully. Then we have the SMS messages that are forwarded. We don't use any other SIM cards in our phone. But how do we actually connect to internet? So I think the best way to stay private is to connect only to your Wi-Fi. Home Wi-Fi is not the best solution. But if you really want to use the Wi-Fi wherever we can, I think we can't avoid some kind of hotspot, some kind of portable router or any other device which we can use for this specific purpose. And that's where the router, the portable router, comes in handy. The problem is that why is it safer, or why it is better to put our SIM to a router or other device and not to put it in our mobile phone? So, yeah, there are different opinions on this, but I think that the router doesn't store that much data as our mobile phone stores, so that's the first advantage. And also we can set up a VPN on our router or our hotspot, and when using a hotspot, only the hotspots, not only the IMEI, but I think the hotspots identifiers interact with the mobile network and we connect to it. So yeah, this also prevents our mobile phone SIM card or whatever we believe in to bypass the VPN. So, okay. But the router or the hotspot still has IMEI. So the question is, can't the operator make a tracking device from our router? The answer is yes, surely. And as well, there are different opinions on this. Some people say that there are a lot of different identifiers than IMEI, and changing your IMEI is kind of a placebo anonymity or placebo privacy. But our aim is not to be perfect. It's really not possible to be 100% anonymous or 100% private. Our aim is to minimize the risk and have a better sleep maybe as a consequence. But we can really change the IMEI and minimize the risk of identifying our device according to it. And there are a couple of devices that support it. You can be maybe familiar with Banana Phone that can change IMEI thanks to KOS firmware. And but if you really want a router, not just the phone, I recommend using this one, Moody. And I can show you how to set it up a bit. So This is how it looks like. If you purchase a Moody device, it can't change the IMEI by default. You need to download the package called Blue Merrill that can be easily found on GitHub. And it supports also the random IMEI randomization and also deterministic IMEI randomization. Deterministic randomization means that there is only one IMEI for one specific SIM card, and when you change the SIM card, it will change as well. Also, be very, just be a good citizens, because changing IMEI is illegal in a lot of countries, so you better check the legislation and do it only in a country where it is legal. So this is how you can install the Blue Merrill. This is just a screenshot from GitHub. You will just download this pre-built package, then you can SSH to your router, copy it, and then you just run install.sh, and this is how it will look like. This is the screenshot from the terminal. So yeah, this is the old IMEI. It asks me just to press enter, and now it is asking me about swapping the SIM card and updating the IMEI. That means changing it. And this is it. Yeah, there is warning that old IMSI is equal to new IMSI, and that's because I did the screenshot only for demonstration purposes, and I actually didn't swap the SIM card, so that's why it is there. But you see that I have the option of setting the random or deterministic IMEI, and then it is set up, and I have right to shut down or reset the device. So that's it for portable routers. But I think there is still a problem with convenience in our day-to-day life, because we need to grab the device and have another device to be able to walk wherever we want to walk. And we still don't have anything on our mobile phone, so how can we access data, for example? Or is it possible to do this without a phone number? The answer is very simple. It is yes. We can still rely on hotspots and Wi-Fi's, but I think there are a lot of eSIMs that are convenient for the solutions, and many eSIM providers accept crypto as well. For example, Bitrefill, KeepGo, SilentLink, or MobiMatter. I don't have any experience with MobiMatter, or MobiMatter. I don't know how it's pronounced, but never mind. So it is also good to replace the eSIMs regularly to prevent de-anonymization. And I don't know, you can kind of fiddle with eSIM providers. They have different programs. I think the biggest advantage of KeepGo is that KeepGo's eSIM don't have any expiration. As long as you charge it with the cost of $3 per year, you can use it lifetime. For example, Bitrefill has expiration periods, but you need to be careful, because if you use the SIM for too long, it can be easily your identity or your location can be easily revealed. But you can use, let's say, the $3 per year on behalf of your anonymity. So also, if you want to use KeepGo, maybe here in Czechia or Slovakia or whatever, some users experienced problems, because when they purchased KeepGo, when they set it up on their phones, they just couldn't access the internet, and that's pretty bad. But don't panic. And that happens because KeepGo usually connects you automatically with a GSM provider that they don't have a contract with. For example, if you live in Czechia, they will automatically connect you with O2. And there is no internet because, yeah. So the solution is that you just manually change it. And if you really want to fiddle with eSIMs, there is an eSIM adapter. For example, JMP, and it looks like this. But you need to check the support of different phones because not all phones are able to put it in them. So that's for eSIM. But a lot of people think when they hear, and when they are not used to it, when they hear that you shouldn't use a phone number, or when you have eSIM you don't have a phone number, etc. And the question is, how can you make an emergency call? So I think the answer to that is that you don't even need a SIM card to make an emergency. And it's good to know how emergency or how your SIM card works, because your SIM or eSIM is basically used to verify your identity for network-specific calls. And your eSIM is, or your SIM is, not just a magical device that connects your mobile phone with GSM tower. It basically just contains some of your data, your account information, and all of this is not needed to make an emergency call. So first of all, emergency calls are prioritized. And even if the network of your prepaid provider is weak, the emergency will connect to another stronger network. So good for you and your health. And also, if no strong networks are available, you will drop dead. That's bad for you. But you don't need to use a phone number, so that's nice. So I'm just going to mention a couple of different hacks. Those are not really hacks, those are just easy things that you can do here in Czechia, maybe also in other countries of Europe. So first of all, this kind of undermines the first theory of using thousands of SIMs and thousands of phones, because there is a service for this purpose. If you want to verify yourself, for instance, in a specific web, you can use a service called SMS4Sats, and it provides a one-time phone number for receiving messages, and you will pay with Lightning, and the refund is guaranteed if the message is not received in this service. Also, I really don't know why this works, why 97s. It works in Czechia and I think Slovakia as well. But this number is kind of universal. It's a dummy number that you can use, for example, in Alza while buying your Ukrainian prepaid SIM. And when you obviously receive the details about your purchase on your email, or mostly on your email, and you don't need your phone number for anything, you can use this. And you can use the phone number of someone else, or you can make something up if it really exists. But as I said, this is a dummy number, so no other person will receive your purchase details. So that's it. And also, I think you can fiddle with messengers because a lot of messengers require phone number. So I think the very, very important thing is not to use your linked identity SIM with Signal. So you can do the same thing as you did with Apple ID. You just put your SIM card into a crappy phone in a different location, receive the code from Signal, you will remove the SIM card, put it into a pocket with the pin or whatever, with the sign that this card is for signal or something, and you don't need it anymore unless you want to change your signal or whatever signal number. So that's first signal, and also you can do something similar with WhatsApp, but there are also services which enable you to buy virtual numbers like yourbusinessnumber.com, and those virtual numbers are guaranteed to work with WhatsApp Business, and also they are not tied to physical SIM, so that is pretty good for you. And I think the last very nice thing that every one of you should do is use flight mode as much as possible. Yeah, you can save your battery and maybe also your health by reducing EM radiation, if you really believe that. But I think the biggest advantage is that it disables all the cellular networks, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS, and it ensures your device will not receive or transmit any signals. And I personally use it every time when I'm not on data. And if I want to use Bluetooth or whatever, I will manually switch it on while on flight mode, or not maybe Bluetooth, but Wi-Fi usually works. You can also play with kind of hardware solution or hardware version of flight mode, which is Faraday cage, or maybe it's better to call it that it's a phone shield or Faraday pocket. And it's basically a bag that blocks electromagnetic signals, so again your phone can't receive or transmit anything. But not all Faraday bags work universally, so you need to try it. And I think you can test it by playing music via Bluetooth, and then you repeat it on Wi-Fi, and yeah, you just put the mobile into a pocket, and that's it. So I think that's kind of it. And I don't know why this slide is there, it's kind of a cringe, but my answer to this is that don't find me anywhere, I am nowhere. And if you are interested in talking to me or knowing more about what I do or what I sell or not sell, we can exchange Signal address, Signal username or simplex address and talk there, or we can talk in person. It's very nice. So last but not least, I would appreciate. I mentioned Chimps and Kabosu on the beginning, and yeah, those are their remains, and they are very easily spreadable everywhere around the internet. So please do it, and thank you.
Thank you very much. We have some time for questions, so don't run away. Come back. I have some things to maybe add and tell people, because I've been playing with this with you and with other people for a while. So first, one of the advantage of not using a phone number and only using data for calls is that if you use these SIM cards, you are always in roaming. So you have usually better service than the locals with the local SIM card. So if I'm in Czech Republic, I use, let's say, O2 SIM card, it will only connect to O2. But when I use this Bitrefill, Mobimatter, KeepGo or anything, it will usually connect you to more operators. So you are actually more accessible, and the service is better than the local service. That's an advantage.
But maybe it's good to check
with this, yes, it doesn't always work with all operators, but you usually have more than one option, so your service is actually better. Another thing that is a little bit problematic, and I want to save you some time, The thing with like Apple ID plus prepaid credit that you can buy in stores, this is true. You can sometimes buy it on Bitrefill. You don't even need to manually go to a store. But the problem is many of these services will only allow you to pay with this prepaid credit after you add a non-prepaid credit card. So even like Cake Pay or some anonymous card won't work. So Amazon does this for sure. It will not accept gift card until you give them a normal. And there are hacks around it. So we can just, you're aware, so you don't get stopped. You know, okay, this doesn't work. You need to. There are like, if you go to Reddit, there are ways around it and so on. But
and by the way, personally, I have not a good experience with Bitrefill gift cards in Czechia, but in Germany or UK, it's a very easy solution. So.
Me neither. And one thing that I want to say is that one last thing is that if you use a SIM card for registration for like Signal or something and just put it in a bag, be aware that these expire. So you need to maintain them and you need to top them up like every 6, 8, depends on the operator. But it's not enough just to put it in the drawer, because if you want to keep the phone number, it needs refill every something. So that's actually on my to-do, to maintain my SIM cards, and I always bother my friends in Czech Republic to top them up with cash, and I send them some nice hard money. But the last thing I want to say, and then I'll open it up for questions, is that this really works. Like if it felt overwhelming and, you know, many hotspots and changing IMEI and everything, it doesn't really affect my quality of life. I do this for a few years now. I get better service. I don't broadcast my location 24/7 to some corporations. So it is important to kind of know why you are doing it. My specific reason is I don't want an easy way to look up where I am on the planet anytime. So normally what anyone can do, not anyone, but there are ways to do it even if you are not law enforcement, is go to the operator, ask, okay, what's your guys' phone number, or maybe they have the phone number, and then ask, okay, where they are. And this call forwarding using anonymous data-only cards that are not tied to your name, they don't have a phone number, so it's not that easily linkable. It doesn't provide like super hardcore anonymity, like Michal said. They can trace you by your patterns, where you go to work, where you go home, where's your favorite coffee shop. It is possible, but it is not like, give me the location of this phone number. This completely breaks it, and that's the reason why you do it. So you don't have to overdo it with everything, just start, and it works. People can call me, the phone rings, I can answer it, I can call, I receive texts. I don't really send text, but it's possible, but I don't want to. I don't like, why send text? So,
me neither.
Just to mention that this is like not some fringe thing that, you know, after you solved 57 super hardcore privacy problems, you are going to do this next. And it's not even like browsing only with Tor or something. This is really, it really works every day for us, and we normally function in this world. So does anyone have any questions?
Thanks for the talk. I've been using Silent Link for like a year now. I didn't know if you were at the talk last year where the guy was talking about it. But the question I have is, what's the difference between using Silent Link eSIM that's data only in your like primary phone, like an iPhone, versus using the router? Like I understand you could reset the IMEI, but if the card is in roaming mode the whole time, like what's the difference in leaking data? Like what can the this provider who's seeing your card in roaming mode see through the IMEI that would be different if you could reset the IMEI?
Yeah, first of all, I think that the biggest disadvantage of having the SIM on your phone is, as I said, that you have the data there. and that's it. Your question is maybe, yeah, it's according to why is it different to use the SIM in one device and not another device from the point of IMEI of your mobile phone or IMEI of a router? And I personally don't know. I think it's still the same. It depends on your view on security, on your belief. I think there is still no way of really knowing what your SIM card does unless you see the logs of your GSM operator. So I think I didn't answer your question, but there is maybe no way how can I answer. So maybe sorry.
Hello, interesting talk. I already played around with some of the things you talked about, but I have like this very old phone number, like it's 15 years old. They switched carriers a couple times, and I probably gave it to 200 people, and every now and then somebody actually writes me on this number, and I don't want to lose it. So I tried to like transfer it to like a voice over IP provider, like Telnux and Twilio, but they all don't support like European mobile number. Like you can transfer a US number, but the European number is impossible. Now I resolved to like just using an extra phone with this number. But do you maybe know another carrier that supports like a European mobile number?
Skype.
Okay.
So the way you do it is you do call forwarding. So you set up call forwarding on the old phone number to the Skype number. That's how you can pick the old phone number up. And then, as Michal said, you can use the SMS forwarding app. So you can keep it turned on. We do this in a way when the phone that is on is not in our home. It's actually somewhere we've never been to. So that way you can receive texts. So call, you just pick up it and you can... So I personally use phone number I've used for 20 years as well, same as you. But it's just not on the SIM card that is on the phone. It's just calls are forwarded and texts are forwarded too. And
the physical phone,
for calls, you don't. You can. It's just a setting with the operator that they will forward the call, and you can turn it off. For texts, you need an Android phone with an app, or put it to a GSM gateway. Maybe you can add something.
Yeah, I think you said it very well, but yeah, you are thinking about the countries and Europe, etc. And for me personally, the situation just in Czechia and Slovakia was too complicated to deal with it. So I think the solution is to really do the research, but I don't know if you want to do it.
Thank you for the talk. I have 1 point and 1 question. You can use this eSIM adapter even on the MIDI router. You just need to program the eSIM on the device that supported. That you can just put the eSIM adapter everywhere, even in Alligator, and it just works. So it's a great thing about it if you want to use any eSIM service. And a question: I have an eSIM number, and I want. Is there any service that just like provide GSM gateway that you send them your eSIM and they just make them for you?
Not yet, but maybe we are working on it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Michal.
Thank you very much.
For spreading the word.